Right, so I'll be completely honest, I didn't think we were going to be making another update video on this situation, but here we are, I guess. And it's for good reason. We have quite a bit more information about this situation we spoke about, I want to say like maybe a month ago at this point, a few weeks ago. And it's all surrounding the Million Lives Book Festival. I'll give a quick recap for the people who need a refresher, and also if you haven't heard of this situation, although I will say, if you've never seen this situation before, I would recommend checking out the original video, because there's a lot more details that I'll probably miss out in this quick recap. So A Million Lives was a book festival that was put on by a company called Archer Fantasy Events. A bunch of authors paid to go to this event so they'd have their own table, so they can actually meet people who might be interested in their books. Of course, there was also customers who paid tickets to attend the event, but one big problem with this event was the fact that there wasn't as many customers as there was originally anticipated. Listening to the authors, it seems like everyone got told a different number of how many people were actually supposed to be showing up to the event, but it seems like it was anywhere around 500 to 1,000 people. Now, in reality, we don't, of course, have like exact numbers, but what we're hearing from a lot of these authors is on each day, it looked to be around 40. So it was an event in a massive hall with barely anyone there, barely any decorations in the slightest. In fact, the only decorations was really like the author's personal tables that they had personally decorated themselves. And then for the people who paid for the most expensive ticket, which was $250, they were promised this fantasy ball. Bearing in mind, you can only attend this fantasy ball if you pay for the most expensive ticket, $250, not cheap at all. Well, this is what they saw when they turned up to said ball. So yeah, this is the empty hall I was talking about. So bear in mind, this is the ball now, right? So you got people who are dressed up, expecting this big event, and yeah, as you can see, not much there. There's just a few tables in a massive empty hall. That's it. The actual event itself earlier in the day looks a little bit better because there's more tables, so it looks a little bit fuller, but you can see like any decorations that are in this room just from the author's personal tables that they've done themselves. So not only did customers feel like they'd been lied to and probably thought that that was a big old waste of money, but the authors also felt like they had been lied to. And some of these authors paid hundreds and hundreds of dollars, not to just have their own table at the event, but also like sponsor perks where like their book would be on like the website and be promoted, which never happened. And that's not to mention the price for transport, because it's not just you in a bag, like going to like a hotel, you've got all your books that you're trying to sell, right? So it's a lot more complicated, a lot more expensive. But it doesn't just end there, because a video was also uploaded by a TikToker called Selena Chuko. I'm so sorry if I pronounced that wrong, who is also an author, by the way. Now, Selena owns Midnight Owl Books, which was the official bookstore for A Million Lives. Now, from what I've personally seen from people talking about how much money they have spent, how much money they are owed, Selena's number was definitely the highest. I mean, if we take a look at this video, Selena actually goes on to explain what she was promised.
She offered me $2,000. She offered me lodging. She offered to provide me with all of the profits from the books. So she was providing the books, and I got to sell them and keep the money. I at first told her that I did not think that was fair for her, and after trying to make it so that we split the profits twice, 3 times, 4 times, she kept saying no, that this is what she wanted. So eventually I relented and I said, fine, I'll keep all the profits, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it really does sound like a deal that is too good to be true. Turns out, unfortunately, it was too good to be true, right? Because up until now, I haven't seen any update that says anything other than this, but it seems like Selena still hasn't been paid the full amount of money that she is owed. Now, Selena goes into a lot more detail in this video. We took a look through the whole video in the previous part that we uploaded, so if you do want to see that, I would recommend checking that out. But basically, there was a bunch of issues. One that actually stood out was the fact that, obviously, we just heard that the books were going to be provided by A Million Lives, and then Selena would be able to keep the profits. Well, of course, that never happened, but also there was customers who were promised certain books, and when they went over to the bookstore, Selena had to give these people her personal books that she owed, because she wasn't provided them. And because she didn't want to let these customers down who had been told by the owner of Archer Fantasy Events, she just ended up giving her stock away. So at the end of this video, Selena goes on to explain that she is still owed $1,800.
And I did everything I could to make these people happy. As of right now, she owes me $1,800. I sent her an updated PayPal invoice, and I also jumped on the bandwidth of she has until May 9th to pay, or legal counsel will be sought out.
Now, following this event, we got a few statements from Archer Fantasy Events, the first one being this video by the owner, Grace, who apologizes. It's 16 seconds long, so it's a very quick video.
Hi everybody, I am wanting to issue a formal apology. I do understand that the ball tonight was not set up to standards. There were a lot of issues with getting set up, and it was not set up well. I want to apologize. If you would like a refund, please contact me and I will issue a refund immediately. Thank you.
Now the refunds, some key information here, because if you remember, the way we actually left this topic the previous time we spoke about it was that these refunds had been promised for a certain date. Now that date has passed. Now judging by the fact that I'm making a video on this, you can probably see where this is going, can't you? But let's actually take a look at the statement that promised refunds on a certain date. So it says, I wholeheartedly apologise for how the event turned out this weekend. We are currently processing refunds as fast as we can. All refunds will be processed by May 31st. We thank and appreciate you for your patience. Now if you remember in my last video, I was kind of questioning how this is going to work, because if the money has been spent already, right, the money that is supposed to be getting refunded, how are these refunds going to work? Because clearly it's going to be thousands and thousands of dollars. It's already over $1,000 if we just take a look at Selena's video. Obviously granted that the information in that video is 100% correct, right? That's Selena's side of the story. But either way, like we've seen Selena's video, countless authors also requesting refunds, customers requesting refunds, like, it's gonna be a lot of money. Now, obviously, I had no idea what Grace's financials were. It could have been really easy for her. Maybe it was gonna be a big struggle. We have no idea. But what we do know is we have a couple of updates from some of the authors at the event. The first one being probably the main author who's been, like, continuously covering this event, has made quite a few videos on this that have done really well, and has been given, like, a lot of information in these videos. Percy J. Fantasy Author. This is a TikTok account right here, 65,000 followers. Now, we actually have a couple of updates from Percy. This is the first update, and then we have a more recent one after this. But in this video, Percy goes on to explain that all the authors received an email on the day that the refunds were supposed to be taking place.
So a million lies continue. So we all woke up this morning to this email from the organizer. Girl. And if you're wondering why this is, important, today is refund day!
So let's take a look at the email. So it says, Hi all, this has been sent out on behalf of Grace. She was taken to the hospital this morning around 4 AM with intense pain and loss of feeling in her lower back. At this point, the doctors are not sure what is going on, and due to the weekend, not all of the staffing or tests are available. This may delay refunds slightly as she was going to process them today. She will process the refunds as soon as she is able to. Now look, of course we don't know all the details about this. Obviously, I hope Grace is okay. Like I said, we have got a newer update now, so it seems like everything is okay. But as we can also see in this email, it says that the refunds were actually going to be taking place today, but due to this, she is unable to issue them. Now, looking at the most recent update, which we will get to, it seems like that isn't really possible, right? Because a little bit of a spoiler, later on we're going to find out that Grace has been trying to apply for loans to get the money and actually issue the refunds that way. But every time she's applied for these loans, her applications have been declined. So the money doesn't seem to be there. So with that being said, I'm not really sure how the refunds would have been processed either way, but we'll carry on. Now, Percy actually does go on to say that some people have received refunds or partial refunds. Percy herself says that she hasn't.
After we confronted her at the ball and she made her all refunds will be processed immediately promise in her video, she walked it back and released this a few days later. But today is May 31st, and I ran this poll on Threads yesterday because I was curious, because I haven't gotten a refund, and apparently neither has anyone else. According to the comments, the only people who have received their refunds did so through disputes through PayPal, but haven't gotten their table fees back from the 2025 event. So after all the authors in the email thread confronted her this morning, not Grace walked it back. So as of right now, as I'm making this video, nobody's in the hospital, and somebody is going to do their best to process the refunds.
Okay, so looking at this updated email, it says, I've attached a screenshot of Grace's My Chart with proof of testing, and will share more hospital paperwork. Grace is home, but is still in a lot of pain, and is out of it from the pain medication she was given. I'm looking over her laptop to do my best to process the refunds for everyone by the end of the day. And then there's another caption here saying, I didn't include the My Chart, but it was all basic ER tests with no results. So yeah, so a lot of authors spoke about this email, and it did seem like the overwhelming response was a lot of people didn't really believe Grace, but of course there's no proof to prove that this isn't true. But interestingly, Percy goes on to say that some authors are actually preparing legal action, the authors who actually attended the event, if these refunds aren't processed.
Here's the thing though, guys. It doesn't matter what she emails us at this point. Plenty of authors and vendors from the event have already spoken to legal counsel and will be filing legal action on Monday, June 2nd if the refund is not paid. And I know that because those emails were sent last night.
Yeah, so obviously we're past Monday, June 2nd, right? I'm recording this video June 4th, which is the day I think I'm uploading this video too. I haven't heard any updates saying that lawsuits have been filed or anything like that yet. Maybe they have, and I'm not aware of them. I feel like they're not. But just to show you another video from another author who attended the event, this is from Callista Neef Author, who has a TikTok account, 17.7 thousand followers. And in this video, Callista is very open in the fact that she doesn't believe Grace's email.
Grace from Million Lives would do something that she said, because she told us that refunds will be done by the 31st. But wait, look. This is what she emailed us on behalf of Grace. So I'll give you a second to read it. Do I believe any of it? No. Are you serious right now? Is this for real? I haven't gotten my refund. And more importantly, have any of the readers that went to this like abomination of an event, have any of y'all gotten your refund?
Yeah, so we can actually see some text on screen here saying, I know 99% of my fellow authors and vendors have not been refunded. But we do actually have a more recent update. This is from 16 hours ago on Percy's TikTok account, and she goes on to say that she's received another email.
We got another email. We got this on Sunday. I did block out some personal information because even though none of these emails are private because we're all included on them, I'm not about to do personal information on my page, so I censored it out.
Okay, so let's take a look at the new email. So it says, Dear authors and vendors, I'm very sorry that refunds were not distributed by the date that I set. All of the money for this event went into the event and there was no money left over. When I chose the date for the refunds, I did not think there'd be any issues getting a loan by the date and process the refunds and pay the featured guests that were promised fees in hotel rooms. But with every personal loan application came a denial, either instantly or after a few days. The last loan application I filed out was supposed to be processed and had promise of getting accepted as I was using collateral, but they were not processed in time. This weekend, other than my trip to the hospital, has been filled with applying to every instant loan possible and getting denied for every one. So yeah, we're seeing very clearly the way that Grace is trying to issue these refunds, right? It's through a personal loan. Now again, we don't know the exact amount that needs to be refunded, right? But it seems like it's definitely into the thousands. So yeah, who knows what's going to happen at this point, especially if Grace is unable to get a personal loan. Maybe she'll get one at some point. But it does look like all the money is gone at this point. Probably spent on the event because they booked this massive hall with not that many people actually attending. That was a bit that was instantly confusing to me, because like, why would you pay for this massive hall without knowing for a fact that you're going to be able to sell enough tickets to actually pay for the event? It obviously makes sense as to why there was no decorations anywhere, because all the money had been spent on this hall and not much money was actually earned from the tickets. I mean, obviously this is very easy to say in hindsight, but clearly this adventure took place in a much smaller venue. Now we do see another part of this same email. A lot of it is blanked out. It's a lot of information on Grace's hospital visit, which is obviously being blocked out for privacy reasons. I mean, I wouldn't want to go into like Grace's hospital visit in this video anyways, but there is a section at the bottom of the screenshot that we can actually take a look at. It says, questions regarding the cancelled events. The author fees that were paid were used to pay the deposits for the venues. I cannot get those deposits back, but I'm doing everything I can to repay those fees. Grace. Now a little further in this video, Percy goes on to say that she hasn't heard anyone actually filing a lawsuit at this point. Obviously we heard that some people were actually preparing to do so. It seems like that hasn't happened yet.
Just one person did say that they would be filing a lawsuit today, June 2nd. I have not seen any court documents about that yet. Do I think she's telling the full truth in that email? No, I don't. I don't think we're ever going to get the full truth of what happened or what's going on. Am I ever going to get my money back? But here's the thing, guys. I'm too pregnant to fight. The reason I'm keeping you guys updated is not because I want my refund. I do this because what I saw at A Million Lives broke me a little. And then what I'm hearing post the event is breaking me even more. Because what do you mean there are other events like this? What do you mean this is a common pattern of behavior? What do you mean I just watched hundreds of creative small business owners get destroyed right out the gate?
Yeah, so look, who knows what's going to happen at this point? Who knows if the refunds are going to actually take place? Like, it does seem like Grace is replying to messages, which is a good sign, right? She hasn't completely ghosted everybody. But as of right now, from everything we're seeing, it seems like the vast majority of the refunds haven't happened yet, and it doesn't seem like there is a way for them to happen, because as Grace is saying, she is being denied these personal loans. Now looking at the comments in this video, we got comments like this one saying, I figured the hard truth is that all the money she did receive went into the cost of the event. This person clearly has no business even trying to run anything like this. Another comment here saying, everybody's saying sue, but lawsuits are expensive, and even if you win, it doesn't guarantee that you'll get paid. You only get paid if she has the money to pay. I doubt that she does, so it's spending thousands in hopes you maybe get a few dollars. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't know if it's going to end up in legal action. We obviously don't really know how much every individual person is owed either. So for these people who are maybe owed around like $500, which again would be incredibly frustrating. You paid $500 for something that was promised and it hasn't happened. I get why that would be a very frustrating situation, but it's probably not worth going through the stress of actually filing a lawsuit. But as we have seen in some other cases, it seems like, or at least some people are claiming, that they are owed quite a bit more money than that, like $1,800 we've seen so far. So will that go to small claims court? Who knows? It's obviously just a really shitty situation for everyone involved, like the readers who attended the event. They were promised one thing, didn't get it, they spent their money, probably feel like they've wasted it now. Then you've got the authors who spent money on these tables, also spent more money on like sponsors and whatnot, was promised a bunch of stuff, didn't get any of it, now they're out of a lot of money. Then you've got vendors on top of that. Like there's a lot of people here who are out of a lot of money. And at this point, we really don't know what's going to happen. But I would love to know your opinions in the comment section down below on everything that we spoke about in today's video. Let me know in the comment section down below, what do you actually think is going to happen at this point, right? Obviously, we are kind of just assuming, no one really knows, but let me know your thoughts. Like, what do you actually think is going to happen from this point? And yeah, if you did enjoy this video, please do a like down below, subscribe if you are new. Also, if you're interested in some other content, me and Emily have a channel where we play games, react to reality shows, stuff like that. So if you're interested in any of that, that's always linked in the description. And until the next one, I'll see you guys later. Alright, goodbye.